it's fitting this movie is called The Sadness because it gave me the big fucking sads. I will be billing director Rob Jabs for my therapy bill after watching this movie. I reckon this movie has crashed more serotonin than fucking Burning Man. It's fucked. Why the fuck do I do this to myself? This movie is only for the most hardcore of horror fans. So if that is not you, that's fine. I get it. You can stop watching the review here. Because I'm going to be discussing some pretty disturbing themes that are in this movie. If you are one of those extreme hardcore horror fans, come along, my broken toys, because we're heading to Taiwan to be fucking miserable. The Sadness is basically a zombie movie. It follows an adorable couple, Kat, played by Regina Lee, and Jim, played by Barrett Zhu, who head to work thinking it's just going to be like a run-of-the-mill, business-as-usual sort of day. And then a virus sweeps the city and shit falls apart in nightmarish fashion. This movie is like a Bunnings snag. It is fucking cooked. Not in the way a Serbian film is. Yes, I have seen a Serbian film. It always gets recommended to me. When people find out I like horror, I thought it was pretty trash. Serbian film to me is all shock and no substance. Often people will tell me that their favourite film is a Serbian film. I ask anyone who says that to me what the name of the main character is and why they like him so much, and what I usually get is crickets. Yes, it works every time. No one remembers the plot of a Serbian film because it's entirely forgettable. The Sadness is not like that. It is very well made, it is very disturbing, and it stays with you. Now, $1 million zombie question. Jake, does it have fast zombies like 28 Days Later, or is it slow zombies like Dawn of the Dead? I am personally Team Fast Zombies, but it has neither. It's way worse than both of those. They're not actually zombies, they're people who have been infected, but for all intents and purposes, they are zombies. They are zombies who have the exact abilities of people in terms of thinking and tool use. So what you get is zombie-like creatures opening doors, using weapons, and plotting torture. It's fucking horrific. The virus in The Sadness hijacks people's limbic systems and sends it into overdrive. So what that results in is the infected's aggression and sex drives go through the roof. So basically what I'm saying is the whole plot of this movie is there is a virus that turns people into sadistic, cannibalistic rapists. Everyone in this movie is getting eaten, fucked, and killed, and it's often in that order. The facet of the movie that I found the most disturbing is that everyone's a target. Anyone can be infected or a victim of the infected. There is no limits. Man, woman, the elderly, babies, they're all horrifically brutalized in this movie. Fucking Asian horror, dude. It's aged me. Asian horror has aged me. They just don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. God damn. The practical effects in this movie are done really well, and they're for the most part really realistic, and only a few of them sort of drift into the like comical sort of sphere. That being said, you won't laugh at all during this movie. This movie is not funny. The violence is graphic, it's frantic, it is unrelenting. My heart rate was like 81 or 2 in this movie. I think my heart rate might have been so high because I was just moving so much because I was wincing the whole time. I didn't even know if it was because I was scared. It was probably because I was wincing. Kat and Jim as a couple are so lovely. And the reason this movie works so well is because you're invested in them and you love them. Even with everything that goes on in this movie, they try to do the right thing in every situation. They are always trying to help people when they probably shouldn't, and they should be looking out for themselves. And it's rare that happens in a zombie movie. Usually in zombie movies, it's all bets are off. People are really, trying to fuck each other over. These two don't. They go out of their way to help people. And that's also why this movie is so effective, because what it does is it shows you the absolute worst parts of human beings. Like, I'm talking the fucking hits, like pitch black, and then it sprinkles this couple's heroic actions throughout, and it's just enough to keep you going. But this movie will have you running on fumes. Like, I almost had to take a break from this movie. It is full on. The cinematography is beautiful, and there's lots of close-up shots of mundane things. Chekhov's Friar, you'll get that if you watch the movie. And the movie has a slightly green and red tinge to it, and I think that was done on purpose to make you feel a little bit ill, like, as soon as you start. Even the cartoons on TV in the background of this film are disturbing. It is like, even for 10 seconds, there's a little cartoon that plays in the background of one of the scenes, and it's so disturbing and weird. This is a really, really, truly fucked up concept, executed pretty close to perfectly. Unlike the usual shock horror subjects people often like to throw around, a Serbian film, Cannibal Holocaust, they're the two main ones. This is actually a good movie, even if it doesn't make you feel good. God, if you're going to watch this movie, just steel yourself. I'm telling you, this is a rough one. I don't know how many showers it's going to take to get the stink of this film off me. But if you are one of the hardcore few and you haven't seen this, this is you're probably going to need to see this. Like, it's a fucking nightmare. Who should watch this film? If you love extreme horror movies like Oldboy, I Saw the Devil, Martyrs, this is for you. If you're worried your life has been going too well lately, you're too happy. If you're too happy and you need something depressing to bring you back down to normality before the universe comes to balance the books, I don't know if everyone thinks like that. I often think like that. If something's going too well, I get fucking suspicious. This'll do it. This'll do that. If horror is for you, if horror for you is an endurance test and you don't really watch it for endurance, here you go. Here's a good litmus test. I don't recommend watching this if you're like 99% of people on Earth. If you want a light-hearted film, run. Fucking please, please, please run the other way. I beg you, this is not for you. If you struggle with subtitles or hate zombie movies, also not for you. I would list all the triggers that this movie has, but it's just one big trigger warning. I could feel the mental scars forming as I watched this. Like, there is some scenes that will stick with me for the rest of my life. This might be the most fucked up movie I've ever watched. Mad God is close, but it's because it's stylized and claymation. It just doesn't hit as hard as this one does. Snowtown is probably also up there, but it isn't as graphic. Even though it's way more realistic, it's just not as graphic as this film. The shit that they do in this film, I've never seen done in other films ever. If you do end up watching this, please let me know, because maybe then we could possibly get a group on therapy, because fuck, I need it after this. As always, thanks for watching. I appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow for a much happier review. Peace.